So the piece of land that you've been eyeing for a while now has just gone up for sale. What next? What should I do? In today's video, I'll give you some tips to consider before buying land here in Jamaica. Alright, so number one, always get a lawyer. Of all the things I'll be telling you today, your lawyer should be telling you the same exact things when you're looking to buy land here in Jamaica. Land is a big investment and you can't afford to make a mistake when it comes on to your purchasing. So always remember to get a lawyer when you're looking to buy land. Alright, that's the first and very most important thing in purchasing property, whether land or building, in purchasing property here in Jamaica. Also, you want to make sure that you're covered legally, as there may be requirements about the land that may need to be adjusted through the courts, and your lawyer can take care of that for you. For example, remedying breaches, encroachments, and the like. So there may be cases where there are things happening on the land that you'll need to get off the title. For example, abandoned roads. Sometimes you will have a road running through the land and you need to apply through the courts to get that removed from the title. You understand? So you need to have a lawyer on board to help you with these situations when the time comes. Number two, getting a surveyor's ID report done. So this document will identify if there are any breaches, any structures, anything wrong with the boundaries of the land. For example, there may be graves on the land, there may be some encroachment, like I mentioned before, there may be an abandoned road running through the land. There's no road there on the physical land, but on the title it shows that a road is there. And some of these things you'll need to go through the courts to get them amended or removed from the land. So you need to get a surveyor's ID done just to understand what is on the land and if anything on the land that needs to be removed. So like graves, you may have a water tank somewhere on the land, stuff like that. You know, if you're purchasing through the bank, the banks would not purchase that piece of land. So you'd have to get those things removed from the property, and in some cases you need to go through the courts to get these things removed. So you have to always ensure that one, you have the lawyer on board, and two, you get a surveyor's ID report, because that will give you information about the land, what's on the land, and if there's anything wrong with the boundaries of the land. We have entered into agreement to purchase lands before that when the surveyor's ID was done, we realized that the neighbor's house was on the land, or it was not. The boundaries, they had gotten the boundaries incorrect and they built a house on the land. And in that case, when we reached far, just waiting for the bank to pay the money, so we paid the deposit, everything, then we realized that the bank saying, listen, we are not going to purchase this because there is a breach on the boundaries. So it's good to get the surveyor's ID report, because the surveyor's ID report will tell you exactly what's happening on the land and what's happening on the boundaries of the land. Can you imagine if this is like even a 5, 6, 7 acre piece of property? So the part that you are looking at, yes, everything look good, but then way around at the back, somebody encroach on the land, and then you are go through the bank to get a mortgage, and the bank say no when you're far in the process. So it's always good to understand what is happening with the boundaries of the land and what is happening on the land. So the surveyor's ID report is very important document. Number three, always do a title search. Now the lawyer will do this for you as part of their fees and part of their service, but you can simply do this for yourself. So instead of engaging a lawyer, because probably you don't want to engage a lawyer up front from day one, you may want to just understand, you know, what's the title looking like before you even get involved, before you even get to making an offer or doing anything like that. So there's an easy way to do this. You can go on Elan Jamaica, and on there you just plug in the volume and folio number for the property that you're looking to purchase, right? Once you plug in the property that you're looking to purchase, you can search for the title, and I think it's 500 JMD, $500. You just pay and buy the title, download it, come to your email, and you can look on the title and know who the owners are and who is selling the land. Now guys, this is very important. There are cases where the person selling the land don't have a clue who owns the land, and they are there selling it. Sometimes it's not they don't have a clue. Maybe it's like a family member, maybe a brother, sister, mother, somebody like that. But then the talk come down to the person who actually owns the land. Because if that person say, listen, I'm not selling you my land, no care what the brother do or the person where you talk to do, them can't get the person who own it for sell it. It may be a case where the owner of the land died and it was never willed to somebody else. So maybe a family member for the person selling it, but they are not, their name is not on the title. So guess what? I'm more stressed that just forget it for purchase it. So you don't want to go way down the road and then realize the person who own the land is not who's selling it, and then it cause more problem and just waste your time. So it's always good to do that title search and understand who is the owner, and if it's the owner, the person who is selling the land. Always get a title when you're making purchase of any land. So there are cases here in Jamaica as well that for a particular land, a title is not done or there is no title available. In these areas, the government have not come in as yet and parceled out the land and give people titles. Now, these lands can be sold as well. They sell it with something they call a certificate. We have inquired about land already that is sold with a certificate. In fact, we have family members who have bought land and they bought it with a certificate and then go through the process to get the title in, and at today's date they actually have the title in hand. So it's not all land you'll have a title for, but always get something. Get a certificate or get a title when purchasing land. Alright? Number 4, understanding covenants. What are covenants? Covenants are parameters. I would say parameters are restrictions on what you can do with the land or with certain land. Now, we have seen it can come in many forms, covenants. And you have to, as I said, download a copy of the title to see what are the covenants, because the covenants will be on the title as well. Or if it's not on the title, the people selling the land may want to insert new covenants on a title when you are purchasing it. So understanding the covenants is very important. Yeah man, so I just get a call a while ago. So I was in the middle of explaining to you about the covenants. So understanding the covenants is really important before you purchase a land. Like I said, the title that you download, there may be no covenants on that, but the people selling it may want to insert covenants on the new title. So when you get the new title, they insert covenants in it that will restrict you from building. But in this case, it will come out as part of the sales agreement. So you need a lawyer to be there to kind of vet the sales agreement to ensure that no new covenants are being inserted that will affect you building. Now, covenants, we have seen a number of different type of covenants and titles. Some of the weirdest ones we see are one, they said no zinc roof or no aluminum roof. Any aluminum roof needs to be painted. We have seen where they say the ground floor of the building cannot be less than 600 square feet. We have seen covenants where it says that before you build, you have to get approval from your neighbors. So you have to show them your drawing. That is totally different from the parish council itself. You have to show them your drawing and them have to approve your building before you can build. We have seen covenants that says, you know, your boundary wall can't be higher than 4 foot 6 inches. And we have seen covenant that says you can't make your bush up, you have to trim it. We have seen covenants that says no gate can open out on the main road and stuff like that. So you have to understand the covenants that you are that restrict, or the restriction or the parameters for the land that you are buying. And remember, the parish council will always consider these covenants when they are approving or not approving your drawing. So you have to make sure that what you're buying, that the covenants don't restrict you from what you plan to do with the property. There are some properties where the covenants say only one dwelling house can go upon the property. You can't rent it, you can't do none of that. So no apartment can build upon it. No, only just a single family dwelling house. No apartments, no multi-family living, stuff like that. So you need to understand the covenants when you're buying the land, because as I said, it's a big investment. You don't want to buy the land and you can't do what you did plan to do with it. All right, and like I said, it's a lot of things. There are covenants that say, for example, you can't sell the land to whoever you want to sell it to. You have to sell it back to who you buy it from at market price. As that at market price, it wouldn't be for the same price you buy it, but it would be at market price. So have your lawyer can vet these documents. You can download a copy of the title and have that and look at that, study that, so you know what you're buying into when you're buying land here in Jamaica. All right, so number 5, it's actually getting a valuation done. In the States or in other countries, they may call it getting an appraisal done. So like I said, land is a very big investment. It's not cheap, and you want to make sure that you are getting value for money. You understand? So getting an appraisal or a valuation done is an important step when purchasing land here in Jamaica. So what the valuator will do, he will look at the various lands that are being sold in the area, what have been sold already, and what was the price that they go for, and maybe any developments happening in the area, and they will determine a cost for the land that you're buying. So you want to know that the land you're buying, the amount you're buying it for, whether it's cheaper than what it's valued or it costs more than what it's valued, then you can have that information. Like I said, the same land that I was telling you about that fell through because the neighbors actually built on part of the land. When we were trying to buy that land, the bank was asking, why is it being sold so cheap, and was asking us to go to the person that is selling the land and have them write a letter, which was at the time, never really understand that at the time, because it never made no sense to me, because if they must sell the land, whatever they must sell the land for, they must sell the land for that, them value it at. But when we get the valuation done, it was being sold for way cheaper than what it was valued. The bank didn't take that information. For some reason, I think the bank just never want to buy the piece of land, because apart from it being a case where the neighbors were on it, it was a whole heap of unnecessary paperwork that we had to go through, because them are cover themselves, them want to make sure say them not have any risk, so them are cover themselves. But you have to get a valuation when you are buying land. That's another important step, and you can't miss that step. Alright, so whether you are buying land to hold, because a lot of people do land banking, I'm a firm believer in that as well. Whether you're buying land to hold or you're buying land to build your dream house, you have to take the necessary steps to ensure that your purchase is legal and you're not losing. Like I said, it's a big investment. Land, they cost a lot of money, especially nowadays. You can hardly find cheap land again, because now everybody catch on and knows that them land very valuable, so they might put the price up on it. But it's always good to take the necessary steps to ensure that your purchase is straightforward and you don't have any headache with this down the road. Alright, so I'm also debating, right guys, to do a video on the type of lands that we buy and how it impact construction. So it's like flat land versus sloping land, service lots versus raw land, just that kind of around that kind of topic, and how it impact construction. Is it cheaper to build a service lot versus building on a raw land? So we have to look at things. Service lot might cost more, the raw land might be cheaper. So we look how it balance out. So if you're interested in that kind of video, let me know in the comments below, and then we can look into that. I'll call it that for today. You guys know what to do. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Talk to us in the description. Tell us the topics that you'd want to touch on in the comment section below. And until next time guys, keep the dream alive. Alright, we're out.